Take a look right there, 70-inch reach to 73. Is that going to be a big difference in this fight? I don't think so. I do think Benson Henderson is faster. That will negate that reach advantage.
To Michael C. Williams.
Bellator MMA live on Showtime continues now with a lightweight feature scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Introducing first, the blue corner. At 5'10", weighing in 155.4 pounds. As a former Bellator lightweight world champion, he brings 10 professional victories, 2 losses by way of Portland. He fights out of Eugene, Oregon, Brent Primus. And across the cage, his adversary fights out of the red corner. At 5'9", weighing in 155.5 pounds, the former 2-time lightweight world champion enters with the veteran professional record, 28 victories, 10 defeats, fighting out of Phoenix, Arizona, Smooth Benson Henderson. In charge of the action, your referee, Ryan Brueggemann.
Ready? Ready? Fight! Interesting in a week in which Bellator makes a sort of long anticipated announcement. We've been talking about it for years and years about main events becoming 5-round fights. That was another adjustment that Benson Henderson had when he came to Bellator, was being in 3-round fights and being a slow starter in a 3-round fight. I was told there would be no math, but that is awful big trouble.
That is big trouble. And it's a matter of with Benson, I've talked to him about it. He goes, I know. He goes, I'm trying to get a feeling. He says, and I realize I'm not being that offensive after I go back and I look at it and I go, you just need to start more. And he really did that when in his loss to Michael Chandler. He was really coming out and fighting well and fighting fast. And he just needs to be sure he doesn't leave himself out of position. But beautiful start right now by Benson Henderson.
Yes, these are big kicks he's winding up on.
And this right here, Brent Primus is going to find out Benson Henderson is no easy task to take down. So Benson needs to continue on with that pressure. Those kicks can be a big difference in this fight.
And the other thing about Ben Henderson's quote, and I'm using the air quotes now with the fingers, the slow start. He could not have chosen a more difficult path when he entered Bellator.
Oh my God.
Goes right up to 170 against the 18-1 world champion Andre Koreshkov and got blasted.
Well, you think about it, go back to where he was fighting, and he fought against a guy named Brent Thatch at 170. He won that fight. Then he beat George Masvidal at 170. So he's like, you know what? 170 is a good weight class for me. I feel comfortable there. I got a lot of energy. These guys being bigger is not affecting me. Big
Brent
shot.
Primus said he was going to let his hands go, and he did.
Big shot by Brent Primus. He hurt Benson on that.
But the Koreshkov fight,
oh my God,
taught us that if at Ben Henderson at 155 or 170, his chin is sharp. Oh, and the shots he took in that fight were amazing.
He took some giant shots against Koreshkov and kept coming back, but Koreshkov put a ton on him. This is a guillotine attempt, but it's not going to work with what you're seeing from Brent Primus. Nice job of defending. See that wrist control?
It's a great look at it there, what Ben Henderson is doing with the red glove on Primus.
Brent needs to work himself back to his feet. Very nice job by Primus to get himself back up. He's going to try to work that choke. You see just that downward pressure by Benson Henderson keeps that choke from being effective. That's a lot of pressure, but not enough to put a guy like Benson Henderson out. Now Benson's going for that single. He's got his hands together on it. Needs to be very careful of letting Brent come up. He's got that Kimura grip on the arm.
He does, and Primus is, remember here, with fighters early in the fight, not as much sweat to deal with. Primus gets a lot of his subs early in fights because of that. Ben Henderson's hand reaching through, trying to keep the foot of Primus from coming all the way through.
Well, you see Benson actually grabbing inside. He can grab his own shorts. He can't grab the shorts of Primus, but he can grab his own. Primus coming up. You better be very careful of the triangle.
And Henderson is defending. He's defending well, but you don't score points on defense.
No, he's stepping over right there. Primus got a good lock with that Kimura grip, but not enough to create the pressure that's going to put Benson in trouble. Now he's rolling through. That means he's in trouble with that. Primus lost the grip.
Out of it.
Now, when you're trying to put a Kimura on someone, it is a strength move, and you can burn a lot of energy doing it. We'll see how heavy Brent's arms are.
John, the evolution of MMA crowds to recognize the significance of what just happened.
Absolutely. You saw the way that Benson had to roll through with that Kimura to take the pressure off. Brent losing the hand control on it, losing the position. High-level stuff.
Very good offensive first round for Brent Primus. You could make the case if you want that his best performance was the loss to Michael Chandler because of what he was able to sustain over 5 rounds and losing his title back to the Kimura grip. But we're done with round 1. This is usually where fights turn. You called what I thought. There have been a lot of candidates for best Bellator fight, and obviously everybody talks about Michael Chandler and Eddie Alvarez. The best one that I call was Michael Chandler against Ben Henderson because it was so divergent in the round.
Totally.
Every round you could say, was that a 10-8 or that a 10-9? Who won that round? And it was a fascinating fight that way because you had the slow starter against the super fast starter, the guy who's great at the end of fights, Ben Henderson, the guy who gets tired. And it's what you talk about all the time. At the end of that fight, Ben Henderson was doing cartwheels, and he had all the energy, but Michael Chandler won the fight. All right, what does Ben Henderson have to do differently early in round 2?
Well, he needs to go back. There you go.
Yeah, that's
Those kicks are the difference. He needs to really go after the kicks, go after bringing them up high at times. You're not going to see Primus getting him in a takedown position off of that high kick. Benson's got heavy legs, heavy kicks, and when he goes down low, after bringing him up high, it's going to make it to where Brent's not going to be able to respond.
Talked to Benson this week about how priorities change and how you appreciate things more the older you get, the combination. Because there was a time when he didn't seem too long for the sport. Now he is realizing that he's on the back 9 and he desperately wants that Bellator world title. He's had 2 shots, 170 at 155, and he knows he has to win this fight tonight to get that last chance.
I don't know what was said to Benson in the corner, but he's doing the right thing as far as those kicks coming up high, and a lot of them. One of the things about Primus loads up on those shots, but you'll notice he starts to get square. Notice how he's not bladed, he's really squaring it because he's trying to keep Benson from being able to take him down. So that opens up the ability with those kicks to the legs, just like that, or coming up high.
That's the best shot of the fight.
Clean shot. Primus ate it well, though, man. Just snorted and came right back.
He said that's what, in some ways, to me, with all the fancy, the go-go-plans, the fancy submissions, to me, the performance that impressed me the most was Brent Primus taking the beating from Michael Chandler that he took, that he survived 5 rounds, 5 championship rounds with Michael Chandler.
Yeah, he took a lot of shots. He showed his mettle.
Yeah.
He showed how tough he is. Because we've seen him in fights where he was taking some shots, but he was the guy normally delivering the more damage throughout it. So you go, okay, when you're the hammer, sometimes it's easy. When you're the nail, it's never easy. Brent Primus has shown, you know what, I can take me in the nail at times. Nice knee inside by Benson.
Primus almost goes too low here. Puts Ben Henderson in a good spot.
Benson's been very effective with those knees to the body.
This battle between two former lightweight world champions coming up next. The light heavyweight Grand Prix moves to the semifinals. Ryan Bader back in Phoenix. And Vadim Nemkov defends the title in the main event in the other semifinal. Meanwhile, Brent Primus gets the back.
One mistake, and look at what happens. Brent Primus on the back of Benson Henderson. Benson needs to be careful about just keeping his hands there. He needs to think about the defense. He's just tough in the head right now. Smart move by Brent Primus to open him up with punches.
Primus not going crazy. He's got the body lock, and he's just going to look for his opportunity and work here from this dominant position.
Well, Primus look at Primus. He was losing this round. Up to this point, now he gets the back. It's how many shots can he put on Benson, or how much danger can he put him in with a submission attempt? Or can he get him out of the fight completely? He's got a beautiful figure four on the body, but he's not doing anything as far as doing damage to Benson, because Benson's controlling his arms. He can't get his arms free. There's no submission attempt. There's no strikes. So really, even though he's got a great position, he's not being able to do anything to damage Henderson.
And is it enough to negate the first couple of minutes of this round?
If he doesn't get to a point where he can start landing shots, no.
And Henderson content to run out the clock here in round two. It was really interesting to hear the fire in both of their voices this week and talking about the fact that the tricky pit bull fight will be for the title and not this one. They have done what they said they were going to do, which is fight like this is a championship fight.
If you want a title shot, this is the round. Both. It could be where, you know what, one guy's up both rounds, but I look at it, it's pretty even. Big
shot of the fight for Ben Henderson. And Primus pops right back up.
He felt it.
Every shot in a close fight makes a difference. Henderson has been in so many close fights. 20 have gone to scorecards, including one with Josh. Tries to pull Primus into the guillotine.
Not going to get that. Primus has got out of it. There you go. Benson now needs to get himself up off of his back. He cannot hang out here at all. Great job of trapping the arm by Primus for a second.
Muscle him into the dominant position, but Benson is so tough to keep on the ground.
And you look how smart Benson was. You saw he was in a position to get kneed. He put his knee to the ground so he could not get kneed to the head.
And defending by pushing off on the leg, now trying to roll again.
Primus has his hands in position, but he's unable to arch his back and get that pressure on that choke. Benson doing a great job with that elevator hook. You see how those hips are getting up high and light. Primus trying to create that pressure of downward pressures, put his back flat to the ground. Nice job by Primus to keep him where he wants him.
Primus has always been the mystery. Does he belong at the highest level? Even some of his early wins that got him into title contention, that got him that title fight with Michael Chandler, were split decisions that could easily have gone the other way.
And this right here is Benson Henderson going after trying to get up. He gives his back. You can't give your back to a guy as good as Brent Primus. Now he's in a position where he can control the pace of the fight, and look for the submission.
Stay in a dominant position in a very close fight for the final 2 minutes. So much of this fight has been Brent Primus in position where he's finished less skilled guys. But Benson Henderson's defense has been tremendous, and that's great. But you don't score points without the ball.
Benson trying to kick that leg free. Gets up to one leg, but it's tough to stand up with a guy that's 170-some pounds right now on your back. The big thing that I want to see from Primus here is he's got to do something as far as go for the submission or go for the strikes. Don't just sit there and control.
Worked so hard to not be comfortable on his back and to get back up. Now he needs to not be comfortable in this position. If you're Brent Primus, you've got to make it impossible for the judges to take it from you.
He's got that beautiful body triangle right now. Within the position it is, Benson is not going to change. He wants to put that foot to the ground. He's got to turn towards his right, get the foot to the ground, which will allow him to start to move inside of that body triangle. But right here, you're losing that. That is not you winning the fight by you landing a little shot while he's landing shots.
And Ben Henderson is almost saying, stand us up.
That's not going to happen.
Not a chance, not from here. What do you want to see Brent Primus do in the final 30 seconds to make a statement?
I just want to see him either open up with big strikes or go after that rear naked choke right now that he's looking at. Yep. Just switched it off to the arm.
Ben Henderson needs something big in the final 20 seconds.
We're going to see Benson do a big jump back or a big attempt to drive Primus into the canvas.
But the fight will end where it spent most of its time. Brent Primus on top. One of the great players of the era, and Russell Westbrook will get booed when his Lakers come into this building to take on the defending Western Conference champion Phoenix Suns, the same way Brent Primus was, playing a road game here against Ben Henderson, but you can't do it much better than he did.
No, you can take a look at what occurred here. The stats are not going to give you everything until you get down to that last thing of ground control, because it was him being able to take Benson Henderson out of the offense that he was being successful with. That, like that left hand right there. That's beautiful offense by Benson Henderson. And you see Benson then tries to jump to guillotine to put that submission on. Not the kind of move you should do against a guy that's as good on the ground as Brent Primus. It's the same thing for Brent Primus in trying to do it to Benson Henderson. Sometimes it gets to the point you go, that's not going to work against that guy. You've got to have it perfect for you to jump to it. Patricio Pitbull's the guy you look and says, he understands when it's on, and I'm gonna go for it.
Both fighters felt the winner should be next in line for a world title shot at 155. Michael C. Williams going to tell us who it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we'll go now to your three judges at cage side. Your first judge, Sean Dallas Hall, scores the fight 29-28, while judges Michael Bell and Brian Miner both see it the same, 30-27. All have it for the winner by unanimous decision, Brent Primus.
He won a world title in a fluke of a finish at Madison Square Garden. But this feels like the biggest win of the career of Brent Primus. And he undoubtedly will stake his claim for a title shot as he joins John McCarthy.
I'm here with the winner, Brent Primus. Brent, as I walked in here, the first thing you said is tough man, tough man. What was it like going against a legend like Benson Henderson?
Man, like I said, I've bought so many pay-per-views watching that guy fight. He's a legend. I respect him so much, man. So it was an honor to get here and share the cage with him. He's a beast. He's doesn't get tired. He's good at everything, man. So it was an honor to share the cage with him. Thank you, God, so much. Thank you, God.
First round, you ended up grabbing a Kimura, and you had it at a certain point, then you lost it a little bit, then you actually had it to where he had to actually roll through to try to keep the pressure off, and you lost the grip. What were you thinking at that moment?
Oh, I thought I had it, and I thought I'd get out, and then I thought I had it again, and like he's a vet, man. He's been in here and done it all, so I'm not surprised at all.
Third round starts off, and he starts off fast. He comes at you, he lands a beautiful left that puts you on your butt. You got right back up, but how hurt were you?
I wasn't really hurt, more of an off-balance thing, but yeah, man, it didn't hurt me at all, not at all.
Is there any doubt in your mind that that victory puts you in the position for whoever wins in Ireland, you should get next?
Hell yes, it does! Scott Coker, if Queeley backs out, gets injured like he always does, or Patricky somehow gets injured, I'm here, I'm the man, I'll fight next week. And if not, hey, I'm in line, man, let me take out any of those guys. I'm gonna smash them.
Arizona, you gotta give it up for the man from Oregon, Brent Primus.